I'm proud to introduce you the last but not the least speaker, Dr. Harish Shetty. He is a psychiatrist having an experience of 38 years in medical field. He is a member of Indian Medical Association and Indian Psychiatric Society. Some of the services provided by the doctor are depression, suicidal behavior, de-addiction, and violent patient management. He has an extensive experience in the field of disaster and mental health. He has worked at Latur in 1992-1993 for a year, at Kandla after the cyclone for a year, evaluated the psychosocial processes at Jabalpur and Gujarat after the earthquake for Human Rights Group, and also worked at Gujarat after the last riots for 6 months. This was on the invitation of Amrita Ben Patel, then head of NDDB. His work was related to providing mental health relief. He is a member of governing body of NTA appointed by the Government of India. So friends, I'm really happy to introduce you one of the best psychiatrists in Mumbai, Dr. Harish Shetty. He's, he will be having the interesting interactive session with Saili Daptarda ma'am on strategies for stress management in educational field.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. We are very fortunate to have you with us, sir, today.
Yeah.
Teacher plays a pivotal role in shaping minds of students. Therefore, we need teachers working in stress-free and healthy conditions in order to achieve maximum effectiveness of their work. I will quickly start with some questions that might be popping up in everyone's mind. Sir, because you have such vast experience in the field, can you throw some light upon the past, present, and future of psychological problem in education field?
No, I'm going to say something else.
Okay, sir.
Well, is not what I understand. I am not a philosopher to predict, but let me start by saying that all teachers will have to live with Corona.
Yes, sir.
For at least 1 year. So 4 things you need to remember. That is Sanyam, Sankalp, Sabun, and sanitizer. You have to live with this, and there is no escape. Forget the students. Let's talk about the teachers.
Yeah.
A student is happy when the teacher rocks in the class. A student is happy when there is jalwa in the class. If not jalwa, at least halwa, and if not halwa, at least hawa. The joy of the student is also related to the joy of the teacher, and that I think is the first thing. So let's look at the health of the teacher, not the students.
Right, sir.
So what is an Indian teacher doing now? She is running to the kitchen and running to do online classes. The management has said, pagar deta hai, unse काम निकालो कम से कम 6-7 घंटा. ऑनलाइन क्लासेस चालू रखो, पढ़ाई चालू है. एक आनंद मिलता है मैनेजमेंट को और प्रिंसिपल को, टीचरों को भगाने का. अरे यार थोड़ा ब्रेक मिला है, आराम करने दो. And online classes are not easy to take.
True, sir.
So the teacher has to do 3 things. One is, first of all, she has to ask herself, is she a manager at home or is she a martyr? A martyr teacher is, I can do everything. I can manage the house. I can manage my online classes. I can manage my children. She will fall or he will fall. If it's a he, it's fine. But if it's a she will fall. If she becomes a manager, then she can teach during COVID crisis. And what is the job of a manager? Just like the principal takes a meeting of all the heads of the departments in the school and allots work, the mother or the teacher, and the mother and the teacher both have to sit in the morning and say, chalo, kaam baatna hai. ए पति, तूने जिंदगी में चाय पत्ती कहाँ रखा है, तुमको याद नहीं, पता भी नहीं है. The health of the teacher impact the student. So teacher's health is more important than the student's health. So first of all, become a manager. वो सुपरमैन का कैप हटाओ, बोलो देखो आज का काम ये है, कैसे बांटेंगे, बांटो. हाँ, बांटने के बाद काफी टीचर लोग कहते हैं मैं जैसे परफेक्ट काम करता हूँ वैसे वो नहीं करता है. हमें परफेक्शन नहीं चाहिए, हमें रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का बंटवारा चाहिए.
True.
और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का बंटवारा जब करेंगे तब आपको समय मिलेगा ऑनलाइन क्लासेस के लिए. और यदि किसी ने ना कहा तो कहो आज खाना नहीं बनेगी. महिलाओं को तो उपवास करने की ताकत भी है, जस्ट लाइक महात्मा गांधी. कुछ घरों में आफत आएगी, ये तो हमने कभी नहीं किया. हमारे यहाँ बुफे खाना तो हुआ ही नहीं, हमें परोस के लाते थे सभी लोग. अरे तेल लगाने गया वो जमाना. और काम बांटते हो तब याद रखना कि थोड़ी गर्मी घर में जरूर होगी. There will be turmoil at home. Without turmoil, there is no change. So the first is the health of the teacher, whether she is able to delegate work at home and keep herself happy or at least peaceful. The second thing is extremely important, is online teaching is not easy. I get hundreds of complaints from all students. They get headache, they get vomiting, and so many of them just sign in and walk up and down. They don't listen to the lectures of the teachers.
Yeah.
Because it's so tough to teach online. Unless you do some nautanki, the children will not pay attention. So when you go online, in the classroom, you can do so many things that help you to feel joyous when you teach. Online, you don't see the responses of your students. You may not get the feedback which is necessary for you to be inspired. It's like when you have a mic, you hear your own voice and you get inspired. When you see people, you see the positive response from the class. So online teaching should have three components. One is all teachers should understand that they're teaching during a crisis. They're not teaching during near normal times. And if you have to improve the psychology of kids, the first thing is जिंदगी और पढ़ाई दोनों साथ में चलने दो. सिलेबस और मन की बात, घर की बात साथ में चलने. पूछताछ करो. Ask them questions about life at home. Ask them questions about how they are coping. And you share how you are coping. टीचरों को बहुत बड़ी आदत है. बच्चे हमें बताइए हम तुम्हारे घर में क्या हो रहा है. अरे तुम बताओ पहले तुम्हारे घर में क्या हो रहा है. टीचर ह्यूमन शेयरिंग करती है तो बच्चे ह्यूमन शेयरिंग करेंगे. उनकी एकाग्रता सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर बढ़ेगी. सो देयर अटेंशन विल बी कंप्लीट. सो फर्स्ट इज add life to your teaching so that mental health improves, both yours as well as kids. Number two, weave stories around all concepts. There are teachers who come and tell me, economics, we can't share stories. It's concept. Who said this? There's no subject which cannot be converted into, including maths. So a teacher has to be a storyteller. It's not the PowerPoint presentation that works by repeating what is there on the PowerPoint. That's all in the books. What is the difference between the book and the teacher? So first is life and study. Second is stories and laughter. And keep a lot of time for questions. Teach for 25 minutes and ask them questions for 20 minutes, both about life and history. The third thing which is very important is if the student has been in the school or a college for 6 hours or 8 hours, do only 50% of online. Don't do 100%. 3 hours maximum. I have seen so many parents writing to colleges, online बढ़ाओ, बच्चा कुछ नहीं करता है. अरे कुछ नहीं किया तो क्या हो गया? We are facing a very big pandemic across the globe after 1918. More people will die than who died, and then people who died in the World War. Maybe, probably, I do not know. So at this point of time, we need to understand that we are teaching in a different era. and children have to recoup and come back to normal, which means they don't have to. I got a call from my mother that I want my kids to excel. I want him to do 10th, I want him to do 11th standard online now, though his 10th standard exams are not over. And I want him to do JE or NEET. I don't know, he's refusing. I want him to excel. This is an opportunity. We have a lot of time. I said, bullshit. There's a time to engage and enjoy so that he excels later. So don't overestimate your role as a teacher. Overestimate your role as a healer. And a good healer will teach properly and people will pay attention to what you teach, even if you are not PhD. That is number 3. Number 4, which is extremely important also, is that a lot of parents have a lot of expectations from teachers, and somehow we get hooked onto those expectations. And what is that? So I told this mother, why are you asking your child? Both the children, they want them to go to JE classes, and one is doing his BCom. They want him to go to CA classes. I said, see, can you feed your kid 7 days food on Monday itself so that other 6 days he can relax? She got very angry. And I said, listen, just as you can't feed 7 days food on Monday to a child, let him study what he's supposed to study in the 10th, and when the 11th portion comes, he can do it in the 11th, 12th, in the 12th. So don't preempt all this. And the last thing is, 4th thing about teachers, let them share the small stories of their online teaching with their families. The nuances, the joy, the masti, the difficulties. And when they find that they share their small stories with the family supports them. The family understands they have to do online teaching because they have to get their 8th pay commission salaries. And I think that is the first step to ensure health of the teacher and health of the child. And that I think is very important, Saili. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, sir, I have a question from a participant who is talking about emotional quotient of the teacher. What, according to you, or how it plays an important role in the teacher?
I will answer that. No, I will answer that. Thanks for asking the question. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Because in the COVID era, look at hygiene quotient. Then look at immunity quotient. Because emotional quotient is linked to immunity quotient. I'll come to emotional quotient also. Then let us look at our emotional quotient. So when I say a teacher should have good emotional quotient, which means the teacher should sleep well. झोप चांगली लागली पाहिजे, नींद अच्छा होना चाहिए. कहने का तात्पर्य ऐसा है, do not eat last in the house, eat first if you can, or eat with your family on time. बहुत साधु संत वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग करके व्हाट्सएप में भेजते हैं. वो दिन में रिकॉर्डिंग करते हैं, आप रात को सुनते हो. 7 बजे के बाद घर में पति के साथ झगड़ा मत करना. समय पे खाना खाना. Sleep is not about arithmetic, it's about architecture. 4 घंटा नींद, उसके बाद 4 घंटा नींद, 8 घंटा हो गए, दोपहर को 4 घंटा. At night I slept for 8 hours. No, it's about continuous architectural sleep, which means you have deep sleep, dream sleep, deep sleep, dream sleep, and you get up in deep sleep. First, for your emotional quotient, your 8 hours sleep. Indian teachers and Indian mothers sleep less, eat less, and work more. Cut this crap. अपने जिंदगी की मोमबत्ती दोनों बाजू से मत जलाओ. India runs because of mothers, teachers, and constables. It does not run because of people like me. So take care of health, sleep 8 hours. If somebody wants to watch Netflix and they want to eat late, you eat and go to sleep. And before going to sleep, do shavasana or pranayam. Let's not use the word pranayam. Let's say breathing and shavasana. And remember, you may have a lot of thoughts about your past, about your fight with people, about your differences with others. This is Corona time, which means when the house is on fire, you can't talk about plumbing. You can't talk about painting or fixing the furniture. You believe this Corona time, I need to improve my emotional quotient. I need to sleep well. I am sleep for 8 hours, and I do not get affected if my husband refuses to listen to sleep or my children do not. I will sleep well, come what may. Sleep causes neurogenesis, increase in the cells of the brain, improves connection, wear and tear of the entire body, and improves your health, your physical health. Mind and the body becomes aligned like this. Otherwise, if you don't sleep, the mind hits the body, the pancreas goes on strike, sugar increases, your vessels go on strike, and BP increases. So first is sleep. The second important thing is, and I call this as a cocktail which every teacher should have. So first is sleep. Second is yoga. It's cool. It's very cool. You have no choice. Harvard scientists said yoga improves health. So in the cocktail have yoga, exercise, sleep, and a dash of not salt or sugar on the rim, but a dash of kindness. How to do it? So I talked about sleep. So every day, come what may, बच्चे तुम्हारे पास में आते, माँ तुम इतने समय घर पे हो, मेरे साथ बैठो, ठीक है मैं पक्का बैठूंगा, but I want to do simple deep breathing exercise, at least pranayam, and there's no choice now. I don't like yoga, I don't know what is yoga, don't force it on me. जिंदा रहना है तो योगा करना पड़ेगा, इमोशनल क्वेश्चन आना है तो योगा करना पड़ेगा, इम्यूनिटी बढ़ाना है तो योगा करना पड़ेगा. So yoga, sleep, exercise, spot jogging, walk up and down. I walk 7,500 steps a day, and today I'm going to walk 10,000 steps. Yoga, exercise, and sleep, and a dash of kindness will improve the emotional quotient. Lastly, be aware of your feelings. So when you do yoga, you'll be aware of your feelings and thoughts. You'll have a range of feelings. There's no pressure to be completely positive. Positive toxicity is also bad. Beneath the layers of positivity, there'll be negative thoughts also. It's perfectly all right to be anxious and scared. I go to the hospital every day. I'm not at home. I go to the hospital every day, 5 days a week, and sometimes 7 days if the patient is admitted. And my hospital is a COVID hospital. I take precautions. I go, I work, and I do these three things. So when you're aware of your feelings, sometimes I feel sad, sometimes I feel scared, sometimes I feel happy, sometimes I feel joyous, emotional quotient improves. You become transparent, you become effective, and you become near normal. There's no need to be completely normal. So these are the small things if we do in COVID times. I think we will be effective in most of the things we do, but we can't be perfect. Imperfect house is better than a perfect house. House in a display mode is not a good house. House in the living mode is a good house. Children, your kids will play cricket inside the house. Let them play. Let them break things. They'll play football inside. Let them play. They might not have a bath all the time. They might sit on a sofa. Let them be. Other day, I got a call from a child, 12th standard. My father is working in a corporate. Mother is a teacher. They are both behaving very abnormal. They're behaving like small children. Then I asked, what? Seeing they're talking to me as if they never talked before. They want to hear all my stories. They're sharing their feelings. They're talking about, I love you, my dear son. I think they're becoming normal. I said they're becoming normal. They're becoming childlike. A teacher with a good emotional quotient is childlike, not childish. You can't live with your Padvi, ex-principal of this college, present principal of this college. Long biodata. Biodata has to shrink when you grow. You be yourself. And that is what is important to build your emotional quotient.
Coming to the ground level problems that teacher face generally handling students, we have got a question from Dr. Shruti Samant ma'am from Bhavan's College. She is asking that many times students, like we have in colleges we have mentor system, and we are allotted few students to talk to and deal with their problems. But not always students are opening up to the teacher, and they feel frightened to talk to teachers. So how can we handle such students, and how can we make them talk to us?
Bhavan's college, I think, is in Andheri and in Grant Road or
Andheri, sir.
very nice. So she's part of my village. I live in Andheri. Uh, Teachers who share their stories of life with students, age appropriate, and whatever they feel comfortable. In such classes, kids come and share their issues also. Opaque teachers don't get any sharing. Teachers who are human, children share. Centripetal teachers, children share. Centrifugal teachers, children don't share, which means centripetal, if you understand physics, centripetal is force towards the center. So when a teacher walks, the students would want to say hello, good morning, good evening, and they want to stop her, ask a question. That's a centripetal teacher. Centrifugal teachers, जब मैं चलता हूँ, कुत्ता बिल्ली भी भाग जाते हैं. बच्चे तो भागते हैं, डरते हैं मेरे से, भाग जाते हैं. So if first share your stories of life which you are comfortable about. I still remember this incident where a teacher shared that a husband has cancer. The principal was very angry. You have no business to share your personal stories with us. And why did she say this? Very important. She was in no mood to teach because she had come after a chemotherapy session and she had not slept last night. So she told the student, I have not slept across one night. I had to go for my husband's chemotherapy, and I may not be able to be at my best today. Please forgive me. And that's a teacher. That is the teacher of the 21st century. Opaque teachers who appear brave and are chest thumping. पॉजिटिव व्हायला पाहिजे, सगळं मी मात केलं पाहिजे, मी कितनी कठिनाइयों से मैं बड़ा हुआ हूं. नहीं यार, सबके जिंदगी में स्ट्रगल आज न तो कल होता है. And that teacher has the maximum following in her college. Though the principal does not like her, but they can't do anything because she is the star of the college and she is open to the students. Students are open to them. At the same time, when you do this, take care that you need to take care of yourself. 1 hour of power for yourself. 1 hour every day, come what may, come what may. मैं 1 घंटा कुछ भी नहीं करूँगा. I might just walk aimlessly, wander aimlessly, or I might just contemplate, speculate, read a book, have a cup of coffee with my leg up. मुझे बताया गया कि आप अपने पति के घर जब जाओगे तो पैर ऊपर मत रखना, पर मुझे अच्छा लगता है पैर ऊपर करके कॉफी. So that 1 hour of power. The third thing is, remember when they face problems with the kids, they come and share the problems. Remember, you can't solve all the problems. Most of them get solved only when you listen empathetically without any solution. Some are difficult and they may need a professional counselor. If somebody is talking about death and dying, you need to refer. You need to be the left half in hockey, pass the ball. And that, I think, has to be done. And that is very important. The third thing is, in the classroom, be equidistant. Practice emotional equity, which means I always have this exercise for teachers of colleges. Just name all the students in your class. It's difficult. Some would name a few, but those who can name almost all the students are great teachers. So when you are teaching, every teacher has a fan following and they like to pick some student. And because by nature we differentiate, human beings differentiate. By attitude, we should not discriminate. So if the teacher is able to reach out to those whom she doesn't consciously pay attention, she consciously pays attention to the kid who's in the last bench, the shy kid, the very naughty kid, the kid who takes time to understand, and that helps connectivity. You need to build connectivity in the class. And what happens also at that point of time is, I always ask teachers, every day when you walk out of the class, just call 3 or 4 students. Just pat on the back and say, "Kaisi chal rahi hai zindagi?" As and when your course starts. Or even on the Zoom, how's life? They say, no, I will study, ma'am. I didn't study for the last test this time. I said, I'm not asking about you. Yes, I'm asking about how are you? And that connectivity inspires kids to learn. And what happened with this advice is there was a teacher who took this very seriously, and she said that I should actually ask every day 4 students. So in 25 days, I'll finish all the students. And she made it a ritual. Kal roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 आ जाइए. मुझे touch therapy करना है. अरे यार, be subtle. So these are the small things by which a teacher from Bhavan's College has asked the question, Shruti. It's nice. Then you get more responses. But remember, in all this, take care of yourself. Your sleep, your exercise, your yoga, and good food. Eat good food, teachers. Don't throw the food into the plate of your husband. Time has come that you need to snatch the food from your husband's plate and have it. Eat the leg of the chicken. Don't give it to your children or your husband.
Thank you, sir. I have another question for the student's point of view. So students, I have seen there is...
Who has asked this question?
Sir, there are 2-3 questions I have combined.
Okay, thank you.
And
Yes.
I see technological gap in student community. Like some students are so advanced and they learn technology and they use, sometimes even misuse the technology. But some students feel burdened even to prepare a 5-minute PowerPoint presentation for an internal assessment. So is the technological shift that is inevitable in coming era, won't it be threatful for these second type of students and increase their psychological problems?
Just look at elders, okay, in your families. Sally, just look at elders in your families.
Yeah.
You find some elders adept at Skype because they want to talk to the child in America.
Yeah.
Some are very adept at WhatsApp because they want to keep in touch with friends. So in kids, what happens is some are digitally intelligent. They are very quick because their brain is wired like that. Some are digitally not very bright, but simple things. I'm not very bright, but I can do simple things. But if you have to inspire the others who actually should use technology, you should give some incentive also. An incentive is, don't appreciate people only who do extremely good on the digital screen. It's a combination of several factors. Actually, they might make great slides, but they may not have understood the depth of the subject. They may make great slides and they might present it beautifully, but they may not have understood the nuances of the subject. And somebody may make a very simple slide, black and white, and would have understood the nuance. So see that your appreciation is very contextual, and appreciation is also based on looking at the whole and not getting excited with the part. So you need to give incentives. So if somebody says, I can't do it, ma'am, I don't know how to do PowerPoint, give him a small project. I want 1 slide tomorrow. And you have to do it. And sometimes be firm and say and once they do it once and the fear goes away, then there's a breakthrough.
Right.
The third type are very interesting. These guys take pride in saying, "Mere ko technology nahi chahiye." You see some elders, "Amala kehte phone se amala yet nahi."
Yes.
It is not that they don't want and it can't. There's some false pride in that. In Corona, there's no choice, but everybody has to learn technology.
True.
So I think these guys who have pride and who reject technology, they're really hitting themselves on their own legs. With them, you have to give reinforcements, negative. Also, if you do not do this, I'm sorry, but I will not be able to rate you on the assignment. And you please sit down in the library. If you need any assistance, my teacher is there with you. So you need to have different strokes for different horses, and different horses for different courses. You can't whip every horse the same to make him run. So you need to use creative methods to see that kids fall online, and everybody will not be digitally very intelligent, but all of them should have minimum understanding of technology, minimal understanding of technology.
Right. So there is also another category of students, like they play games on mobiles. They are not digitally illiterate. They play games on mobiles for hours, but they are not able to attend a 40-minute class. I know you said that class has to be interactive and very creative.
I can hold attention for 2 hours of any class.
Right.
So ma'am, you are competing not with the teacher of yesterday, but you're competing with technology and the jingle on the TV. A storyteller can attract any audience. If you have to teach geography, take a globe. Just giving PowerPoint, point one, point two, point, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, you'll be there in the guides. They don't need you. They don't, the publisher will give you the question answers. If you're able to convert your concept into a story, if you're able to talk about historical lessons, about Veer Savarkar in a form of a story, you can talk about Gandhiji in the form of a story. If you can talk about our discoveries in science, how chlorine is formed in the form of story. You can talk about mathematics also in the form of a story. You can talk about Newton by sharing the life history in an animated way. An animated teacher is the best teacher because animation teaches you the most. You learn better when things are animated, which is why kids love games. Kids love stories. And if see, there are 5 types of teachers. One is who just gives them salad. जो मैटर है उसको काट के तोड़ के देते हैं. The second, उसमें थोड़ा सलाड में सॉल्ट और मिर्ची डाल के देते. Okay. Third is उस सलाड को अलग अलग तरह से काट के उसकी जो रूप है उसको चेंज करके वही सलाड अलग अलग दिखता है. Better teacher. And the fourth is who will talk about the salad in the form of a story, then present. And the fifth is who will animate and become a cucumber, become a beetroot. My dear Sayali, you may have parents, okay, your mother, if you want to wish her for a birthday, imagine you have brought something nice. Will you go and say, it is a birthday gift? No. You will create a story, you will create a surprise, you will keep it under her bed. She might not know that you have prepared something, and then she feels so delighted. Why can't we do this with our students?
Students, correct.
And that is what is teaching. Teaching is, why I'm here? I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm here to enjoy. Because I know if I enjoy, I will learn from what you have asked me. And probably when you enjoy, you'll also learn. Teaching has to be a joyous process. It's not a process which is conducted in the morgue. Body number 1, chal leke jao. Body number 2, leke jao. Yaar, jagao. And if a teacher has to teach well in an animated manner, not because she should convert her next generation. Desh ko banana nahi hame. Desh apne aap banega. Apne aap banta hai. We teach well because we need to maintain our mind and body in alignment in an orchestra, not in a jugalbandi. We teach well because we want to enjoy our teaching.
Yes, sir. We also come across students, sometimes they are forced to mature at an early stage due to some family or financial problems. In post-COVID era, we might expect high probability to come across such students, and the teachers has to take care of their psychological health. Sometimes even teachers are not able to help them due to their situation is so bad that teacher cannot indulge into their financial or family matters. How to handle such students when we see that they are not able to pay attention to in the lectures because the problems at his family or finances are bothering him or her.
Before that, somebody has said that he or she walks for 10 kilometers in the room up and down. I think I congratulate the person that you're walking, and the awaj is okay. No, the person said that she cannot hear properly. The awaj is okay, everybody? The
yes.
Yeah, fine. So, you know what? You have 6 hours of magic in the college. You are not responsible for everything about the child. Child is 18 hours outside the college. But in that 6 hours of magic, you can't change the child's father's attitude. You can't change the mother's extramarital affair. You can't change the father's alcoholism. You can't change anything. But in the 6 hours of magic, children need to experience 5 things. They need to experience learning that जो पढ़ाते हैं थोड़ा बहुत घुसता है they need to experience memory, which means जो पढ़ाते हैं वो जो पढ़ाते हैं वो मैं रिकॉल कर सकता हूँ एग्जाम में. I can recall, I can reproduce, and that is second. Third is he or she should experience joy. मुझे कॉलेज आना अच्छा लगता है. मैं जब टीचर्स को विश जोर से करता हूँ तो टीचर मुझे हंस के विश करते हैं. You know this entire experience, when a doctor smiles at the patient gets healed. But if the patient smiles back at the doctor gets healed. So is the teacher. When the child smiles back at you, you get healed. And if you can gather millions of healing experiences, your health remains all right. You don't have to do a lot of external things to be healthy. And that, I think, is extremely important. So the third thing is joy. Fourth thing is he or she should experience friendship. मैं friends बना सकता हूँ. मेरे साथ लोग बच्चे हैं जो मेरे साथ खड़े रहेंगे, डट के खड़े रहेंगे, through thick and thin. That's the fourth thing. The fifth thing, which is very, very important, is that I can call on my friends to stand with me. So if they're able to experience this in spite of everything, they rise. You must have seen, ma'am, I've done a study on 8 children whose mothers died during their 10th standard exam. 8 children. 6 got above 85, some got 92, 2 collapsed. The 6 said, I have to give something back to my mother in heaven. A crisis can really help children to rise to an occasion. The 2 collapsed. So it's not that, so if you're able to give that environment of the 6 hours of magic, things change and children really do very well and children actually rise in life. But there are children who need professional therapy and counseling. There are children who need a lot of medications or some medication. There are children who had a breakup and there's a lot of difficulties in life. They need very special help. I'll give an example of Vidyanidhi High School at Juhu in the Marathi section. They're very bad failures. The passing percentage was very low. And then went a teacher who went to the house of all these kids in the 10th standard. Apulki zali, bonding happened, and then he took their classes in the evening. What happened? With the bonding, their interest increased, and then with the skill, he helped them to study and learn. And then the passing percentage increased to 82%. So we need to do a lot of other creative things with difficult children. A college is known not by their toppers, but by the way they handle difficult children.
Yes, sir. Very true. Let me take the last question to conclude this session, sir. We all know that India has a glorious past of universities like Takshashila and Nalanda. In spite of that, we often hear a lot of praise about education system followed in foreign countries. Do you really think that Indian education system needs thorough makeover to make teaching learning stress-free in future?
No, I think there's a saying in Marathi, Junate Sona. Old is gold, isn't it? But there's also understanding that all answers are not seen in the past. But the truth lies in between, as my friend Vinay Sasrupati said yesterday. The truth lies in between, which means what? Which means what is very important is preserve the heritage which was there and look into it. There are so many kingdoms which have been not taught in history by our historians, by the so-called Romila Thapar historians. So look into that and learn from that. Say, for example, how many of you know that Upanishad Ganga is a serial in Doordarshan on the Upanishads? They're fantastic. But sab kuch atheet mein dhoondne mat jao. There are a lot of things that are happening now, today, and a lot of things which is happening in the Western world, which we need to absorb. So take what is good from the past and absorb what is available in the present and the future. We should not get obsessed that our culture is the best, our universities were the best. Yes, they were the best. So look at it, be proud of it, learn from it, but keep your eyes open for anything good happening around the world. And there's a lot of things which are happening good around the world, which we should really pay attention to.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable insights. What I take away from the session is stress is inevitable, but coping up is our choice. It reminds me of the well-known saying that a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that has handled stress exceptionally well.
No,
Spiritually,
I would say in COVID times, you have to only understand 5 things. One is cocktail,
yeah,
yoga, sleep, exercise, mix it, and a dash of compassion. And why I'm saying compassion is sometimes each one of us are born compassionate, but very few discover it in their lifetime. दिखता नहीं, because कचरा भरा है ग्लोबलाइजेशन का. उस कचरे को हटा के अपने आप compassion बाहर. So please call up people who are alone, elders who are alone, and your own maid servants. Find out how they do. I called up my fellow who brings fish to my house. He's in Bihar. He felt so nice. He said, I want to come back as soon as. I said, you're welcome. So compassion adds taste to that entire. That's number one. Number two, globalization has helped us to connect, but don't over-connect. Apart from talking with the family, which means earlier the father was in office, the mother, if she was working, she was in school, and the kids were in tuitions. Now at least you guys are eating together. But that's good. But remember, don't over-connect. Please connect with a safe space where you can be emotionally new. Tumhare dost jo hai, men, they have their own friends from childhood they could have, and teachers, and that safe space where they can be themselves without the visiting card. I am a principal, I am a teacher, and be connected. That's number two. Number three is a little fear is normal, but if you have excessive fear, remember, you might get very irritable. Anxiety causes a lot of irritability. Explore that fear. If the fear is a little more, share the feelings around the fears with people whom you love. Learn from science. What is corona and what can it do? It's an innocent virus. It will not invade your house. You have to invite it by touching it and by putting your hands on the face, etc., etc. So learn from. Number fourth is watching news excessively is a mental health risk. Stay away. Learn from the news in 10-15 minutes and just stay away. And the fifth most important is you have to live with corona and accept reality. Accepting reality solves half the problem. And what do I mean by accepting reality? My talk was at 1:30, 2 o'clock. Madam said we are a little late on time. Initially, I got a little flustered, but I accepted reality. That is the satya. When you are in the airport, somebody says your plane is late. You have three responses. 25 people will rush to that poor girl at the counter who knows nothing why it is late. And she's not responsible for it. And you are shouting, da, 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 da. The plane will fly at the same speed. The captain or the commander will not say, let me put the plane in the fourth gear and rush. It will fly on the same speed. So this guy who's rushing, his mind is hitting his body and he's falling sick all the time. The second guy who sits quietly, chewing gum, but he's also doing the same thing inside his mind. It's worse. Hindustan, this is bad, and that is bad, and he's doing the same thing. And again, the mind hits the body. Third types like you guys, all teachers, and like me, we get upset. Oh my God, I'll go home late. But after 5 minutes, you calm down. Kahi upay nahi, accept reality. And I find time to talk to my neighbor. I have made maximum friends on the airport lounges. And I find time to talk to others and to make friends, read a book. Accept reality. Your husband is your husband. You don't get any husbands from Amazon exchange offers. Your wife is your wife. Jo hai. Jo baaju mein tumhari anarkali. Jo baaju mein tumhara amitabh. Accept reality. That is it. He doesn't understand me completely, but I also don't understand him completely, and we don't agree with so many things. That's wrong. That's perfectly all right. Accept reality. And that, I think, is the most important thing. My dear teachers, you have a great responsibility. And as I sign off, I'm going to share this with you. You have a great responsibility. And remember, mask will be part of life for a long time. So when you wash your hands, don't wash your responsibility from the situation. When you put a mask and your mouth and your face is closed, keep your mind, eyes, ears open. I mean, when you maintain safe distance, see that, please see that you communicate in a manner that you maintain your connection and your compassion. My dear teachers, remember, globalization has brought countries together. One virus doesn't differentiate from the poor and the rich, from caste and community. Has really told all of us that we have played enough with nature. Let us take care of nature. My dear friends, my teachers, I'm not saying that you should do something special. In 2020, the only goal is to stay alive. That is the investment. So don't be hard on your children. Help mothers to understand they should not take online tuitions and burden the child. Tell them if they're able to help the child enjoy and engage, the child will excel in the future. Third is, this is a time where you should not become a martyr and the superwoman. This is a time to become a manager and share responsibilities. And I'm so proud of all my teachers. I always have been saying that the country is run by mothers, teachers, and constables. With this, I thank my dear friend Dr. Vaidehi Daptardar and her daughter Ms. Sayali Daptardar, and all the lovely teachers who heard me today. And I would also like to thank the teacher who introduced me. What's the name, Sayali?
Shweta ma'am.
Shweta Shanai.
Yes, sir.
I tuka ho thanks sangta Shweta. Tu amchi ni.
Hi. Thank you, sir.
Thanks sangta.
Thank you, sir.
I genuinely thank others colleagues for inviting me. I'm happy to be here, and I'll be happy to come again to meet teachers as and when.
Sure, sir. We also enjoyed your talk. It was a very lively session.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.